Whether you like it or not, it's redraft season, it's best ball season, and today we're looking at some running backs that you might be interested in your drafts this year. You might be looking at, you might be hating, but we're going to go over the advanced analytics, the numbers, the strategy around them, depending on how you're drafting and how things could look. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going to help you win your drafts. We're going to help you setting lineups every week with the waiver wire. We're going to help you pick up guys, win those trades, and everything else. Click that button. Stop missing out. Our first running back today, Ashton Genty. And this is going to be a fun list today. We got a fun list today. The 5th running back off the board per Underdog Fantasy, 11th player overall. Drafted 106 off the board in the NFL draft to the Raiders. And the thing about this is, with Ashton Genty, you see in the back end of the first round here, so he's at that tail. First, second round. Just call it that because we know drafts are different than ADP. Things happen. And he might be a little cheaper in home league drafts, depending on the home league draft you're in. So I'm talking redraft. So like I've been saying, if you're drafting with Martha from accounting, he's going to be cheaper because he's a rookie. However, if you got guys that are a little overzealous, he might go a little bit higher than expected, or might be in line a little bit closer to Underdog. Because sometimes you got leagues where you're in a home league draft, but they're all drafted on Underdog and everything else anyways, and it's just part of status quo. You're really just marking a line in the sand right here because you got prospects around them that are vets that could be safe for Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins, Puka Nacua, CMC, and then you got running backs in the second round, third round. You have to have your strategy really in line and what you want to do. And you're going in the first round. Like, you know where you're drafting at. If not, you should know where the players are in range at in the first round. You know he's there in the back end of the first round. Early second. How do you want to start off your draft after looking at these player pools so far? We will have draft strategies here in videos. Just straight up videos of draft strategies. Zero RB, here RB, double here RB. More strategies that I can think of. Just doing straight up strategies so you can use them, whatever ones you like. When I think about this, if you're somebody like that likes to tag running back early, and Ashton Genty's there, a little bit of a gamble, but the upside's so immense that he could be a league winner off the rip. They're going to use him. He's going to get opportunity. There might be a little bit of a rookie ramp up, but I look for him to get a workload, a good opportunity share. Back into the first round, you can get another running back. You can stack running backs if you want to do that, and then hammer out a bunch of wide receivers. So far from doing these videos, and I look at the ADP every day, getting a good feel from drafting, I feel like in the first 3 to 4 rounds, I want to feel like I'm good at wide receiver. I want to feel like I'm good at wide receiver and running back to start things off. And then build from there. Take what comes from me. That's what I'm feeling. It seems like common sense, but I really want to be anchored down at the top at each position. Ashton Genty can anchor you down. You also got some running backs that can anchor you down in the second round, and you got good wide receivers around him. But he's drafted in the first round. We were setting records last year. We were looking good. He's got good vision, good contact balance. We got to see how the workload shapes up. I imagine it's going to be grand. He's good in the passing game. Go look at his high school tape. I have it somewhere here on the channel. I went through all the high school tape on almost all the rookie running backs. I went through like 15 of them, like really quick. He's good at catching the ball downfield. He can do that. And he demonstrated that in high school, that he has the ability to get that range. 10.8% college target share back then with Boise. That's understated. So he might be used in more ways than expected. This is a team that's on the come up. They're retooling, and they're going to use Genty. This new coaching staff is going to use Genty. The pivot, though, you got Amon-Ra, Nico Collins. You can go Amon-Ra, Derrick Henry. You can go Amon-Ra, Etienne if you want. You can go Amon-Ra, London. You can just stack up wide receivers. And then running back so deep, you can go like more of zero RB or a midline RB or whatever you want to do, because there's good like dead zone running backs there that you can stack up and be stacked at wide receiver. There's a lot of different angles. And that's what I'm prefacing. Like, it's not a sell tactic for any of these players that I'm doing in these videos. Like, literally, I just go down the list and I give you good, bad, different strategies here and there. Ashton Genty, though, has a lot of promise this year. has a lot of promise. There could be a rookie ramp up in the start of the season where you might be able to buy low in on him. I doubt it. I doubt anybody's going to allow that to happen unless it's in a home league where you can take advantage of it. But he's going to be up there. Imagine there's going to be creators saying, hey, I'm drafting him 101. I'm drafting him 103, 105. I'm drafting him around Bijan, Saquon, Jameer. I bet you there's creators out there. That's fine due to the ambiguity and the potential touch load. However, you also got a lot of pivot points in here that are proven as well. And you just want to think that through. You also want to think your strategy a couple rounds ahead. How you want to do your build. How many leagues are you in? If this is your one league and it's a $20 league, do what you want. Do what you want. That'd be a strategy too. Also, the amount of leagues you're in. If you're in 50 leagues and you want to mess around a little bit and diversify, you can do that on a few of them. That would make sense. You can also diversify away if you're in a lot of leagues and you're trying to mix and match, have different portfolios or different players in your portfolio. That would work out as well. There's so many strategies that I can implement here in the first, second, and third round of this year's draft. And this is a very complex draft this year. More complex than last year with how deep this rookie running back class is. Omarin Hampton. Like I said, this is a fun video today. 15th running back off the board. 46 overall. Honestly, with Najee Harris there, you still might get like a similar work distribution compared to Ashton Genty. Omarin Hampton's the truth here. Like, he blew up Indy. He blew it up. Drafted in the first round as well. 6 foot, 221. Has a good receiving profile. 11.2% target share. Catch the ball out in the flat. Not like a receiving weapon, but out in the flat, in space. Tough to tackle. Tough to tackle. Can grind it between the tackles. They drafted him to be their grinder. They drafted him to be their grinder. Now, when you're strategizing around him, you just look at what's there. You're in this area. James Cook, Omarin Hampton, same round. Looking after that, Chuba Hubbard, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon. If you want to shoot upside running back early, you get him a little cheaper. You get him a little cheaper, and you might be able to get like a Bijan, wide receiver, Omarin Hampton. You could be able to do that. Then you got your upside RB2. You paid up a little bit for that, but you're also anchored down, and you're anchored down at wide receiver. That's something you can look at. He's a rookie. He's got a veteran with him. Maybe the touch load starts off slow, and you can buy in a little bit later in season. Maybe it doesn't. But if it starts off slow and you got that ramp up, then you may not hit the expectation of the 4th round ADP and Underdog. However, he's a rookie, so in home league drafts, typically with rookies, you'll see him go a little bit cheaper. So that's something you may want to take advantage of, as he's probably going to get worked in the mix of the 4 running backs in the 5th round somewhere in a home league draft. Maybe a little bit cheaper than that. That's something to look at. And then you're also getting into the point of the draft with the wide receivers where you got some good upside week to week and some good downside with some of them. Not picking any of them out, but you also got some wide receivers that are ambiguous going into 2025 where you may want to just say, hey, I'll chalk up the ambiguousness to this rookie running back here because he might hit early. And if he hits early, it could be top 5 running back. That's the thing about this. When you're talking about upside, you're also talking about where's the upside at. It's a top 5 running back. That could be early in his career or it could be late this year, somewhere down the line. And if he has a ramp up where it's starting off a little slow, you still want to hold him. Hold him tight. If it's lengthier than expected, you start buying on the low because it could happen. You look at those specs, though. You got a 94th percentile speed score at 221 pounds, drafted in the first round, 30 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. He is a productive runner, and Harbaugh likes him. Quinton Judkins, I told you it was fun. And you look at the ADPs here, 25th running back off the board. So the rookies are the 5th running back off the board in every 10 spots. Quinton Judkins, 7th round pick here. 7th round pick. You know who was going around this range a little bit? It was like Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks. Just around 8, 9, 10 this time last year. I got the videos. I can look it back up. 73rd overall. And he's in this alley here where it's ambiguous running backs and rookie running backs here. Because looking before, Caleb Johnson, James Conner, Trevion Henderson, RJ Harvey. You got the rookies, Quinton Judkins, and Swift, Pacheco, Pollard, Aaron Jones. Talking macro, 1v1, you can probably make different case scenarios with all the running backs. But look at this portfolio, though. This is a first-round caliber running back. Gets drafted 204 to the Browns. Size adjusted athleticism, 221 pounds, 4.48 40-yard dash. This is all per playerprofiler.com. Free information, 92nd percentile speed score. He blazed Indy. He blazed it up. That added to his portfolio. This is a guy that was a afterthought in high school recruiting, went to Ole Miss, blew it up as a freshman. The next year cemented it. Went to Ohio State, shared the backfield with Trevion Henderson. Did well, blazed up Indy, increased their stock. He looks like a first-round pick. At one time, he was one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in college football. You're catching him at a good deal. The big question with the Browns is the quarterback spot. Who's going to be quarterback? More than likely Flacco starting the year. More than likely Flacco. I look for him to get a lot of touches. They drafted Sampson. That's a good 1B back for him. You need 2 running backs in this day of football. You need 2 running backs. You need another running back to help keep the chains moving. So when you get back out in the back end of that series, you got the back end of the series still to be able to get those touches, to get that red zone look. Like, say you got a long drive. They're going to have long drives. They ain't going to be scoring fast with this team. They ain't going to be scoring fast. They need to put together some long drives. So you got to have a good 1B back. That's something to look at here. I think he's going to get a lot of work. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity. Where else you going to lean on? Where else? Like, you're looking at Shadur. He's still a rookie. A little ambiguous there. Very ambiguous. You don't even know when he's going to come out. And it could be the Kenny Pickett experience for a couple weeks. You're looking at the quarterback spot. It's very rocky. The one thing is, they got a Haas here at running back. A couple open lanes here and there. That could be some big gains. It could be volatile to do that. But I believe he's going to pop somewhere down the line. It could be a slow ramp up. I think he's going to get touches early, though. I think the workload's going to be early. I think he's going to at least get you double digits, and then game to game, PPR-wise, and then it's going to rocket ship off somewhere. Like, it's going to get figured out with this team. And the fact that he's cheaper than a lot of the rookie running backs, the last time I looked at this, he was going ahead or mixed in with those rookies that were in the 6th round. For him being cheaper, that just makes me want to pull the trigger more. Also, I want to feel good at wide receiver before I get to this spot of the draft so I can go veteran running back, rookie running back, or rookie running back. I want a lot of rookie running backs in this year's draft. Cam Scottaboo. I'm not lying. This is a fun one. 35th off the board among running backs. Every 5 almost. Not always, but every 5 almost. 110th player off the board overall. We're in double-digit rounds. He'll be even cheaper in home league drafts due to him being a rookie, due to him being a giant, due to him sharing the backfield. But what's the story here we can tell from looking at ADP, looking at the draft? When you look at ADP and the players around him, there's a little story here. We're around ambiguous backup running backs or guys sharing the backfield. J.K. Dobbins sharing, Ramondre sharing, Charbonnet sharing, Harris sharing, Tootin. We're waiting. He's back there sharing a little bit. He's back there. Tajay Spears sharing. Javonte Williams. We got to see how training camp goes. And he's a talented player. He's a talented player with good vision, good contact balance. They could try a 3-headed committee here with the Giants. They could allow him to get more work than expected somewhere down the line. So what I'm looking at him is a rookie lottery ticket running back. Preferably home leagues, I would want him cheaper than ADP here in Underdog for sure. On Underdog, if you're getting him, you're just hoping that you get that rookie that goes blast off and you get some RB1 weeks. You also need him to earn touches over Tyrone Tracy, which there's potential for that somewhere down the line. Doesn't mean it will happen, but he's a lottery ticket rookie running back, and I want a bunch of these guys in my drafts, diversifying between leagues in the double-digit rounds, and there's not one that I'm really going after really that much more than the other. I'm just going to sprinkle around. I'm going to diversify the portfolio. That's the strategy I'm going to implement this year, and we got a good value here. 45th running back off the board, 140 overall. Round 12 right now, and this is actually fine production for the draft capital. It's the Bucky Irving show. So if you get Bucky Irving and you go Rachaad White, and you're asking which one to start each week, it's always going to be Bucky Irving. And when Rachaad White beats him out on scoring, it's just was up in the air that week. That's going to be your answer. But you would want to do that stack just in case Bucky goes down, and it's very palatable with the price tag since Bucky's so expensive, Rachaad White's so down. And then if something happens to one of those running backs, you're looking at Sean Tucker, but he's still able to get you some sort of production to help you get by if you're really hurt at running back. And the upside is if Bucky goes down, then we could get more touches. And what you like about what he's getting here is a 10.8% target share. We're running almost 20 routes a game, even though that's probably going to be up in the air a little bit more with Bucky, but they like to use two running backs on the field at the same time, and they like to intermingle their running backs, which helps keep them fresher. And this is a great, great spot in the draft for Rachaad White. Like, he's not expected to be that home run threat like he was expected to since Bucky zapped it, but if Bucky goes down, or if you need points in a pinch, like, he does not have that many putrid weeks below 10 PPR fantasy points. Now you're like, well, that's not really winning me weeks. But you also want to think about this. I'm drafting guys 140, 150 overall range. I'm looking at running backs. You either want to look at, like, the ambiguous rookies, year 2 guys that could take over a role and just sneakily win the league, be a top 5 running back for the last 6 weeks of the season. Or you want to look at somebody that can be relatively consistent in their 1B role and get you by and possibly get you some upside. He could definitely do that. He can definitely do that. If he was more expensive, I'd be really very scared due to the efficiency dichotomies we're seeing here on the chart, because there's some things where efficiency, it's looking good, like yards created per touch, 3rd among running backs, juke rate, 42nd. Like, it's off and on. But the work in the passing game, like, he's good catching the ball in the backfield. They're going to use him. They're going to give him some work. He's cheap, so if he flames out even more next year, it's fine. There's no sunk cost, and you can just go to the waiver wire, or if he gets hurt or whatever. Like, 12th round. Another thing is there's other running backs to look at. Pick your poison. Trey Benson, Ray Davis, Isaac Irondo's got a lot of upside. We saw that last year. Javonte Williams, if he can get that job in Dallas. Jaden Blue, upside with that speed. A lot of people are looking at him. They're looking at this, and there's potential here. 140 overall. Another thing, late round tight end, late round quarterback, wide receiver is starting to zap up a little bit. Like, I want to feel very good at wide receiver before getting to double-digit rounds. Like, there's some wide receivers you can patch up with here and there, but I do not want them to be in my main core of wide receivers. I do not want to do that. That's one thing I can definitely say. That is my main take in this area of the draft. Like, I want to sprinkle all the running backs, and I do not want to have to get my cornerstone wide receivers back here. That's for sure. At 55 off the board for running backs, Will Shipley, 180 overall. And we're going one of the final rounds here, 15th round. And this is a running back in a depth chart that's a little bit ambiguous. Behind Saquon Barkley, you got A.J. Dillon, ambiguous in the notion that, like, if something happens to Barkley, it could be a timeshare with him and Dillon, or just Shipley, or mostly Dillon. Like, you got to see how that plays out. Also ambiguous because Saquon Barkley could go another year unscathed and just be a huge blessing for the Eagles, and you're just waiting for your turn with Will Shipley. You're definitely looking at this if you got Saquon Barkley. You're definitely thinking about your handcuffs, considering the premium you paid for him and how cheap these running backs are. A.J. Dillon, I don't even think he's got ADP. I don't see him down there. He'd be listed somewhere around there. And Will Shipley's got a little bit more hype to him. Will Shipley can catch the ball out of the backfield, former 5-star running back. Went to Clemson, got used at all phases. He's good. He's a solid running back. He's a solid running back. Any team would love to have him as a backup runner. He's a guy that can hold it down for you. And the ultimate lottery ticket running back is Keem Mitchell. 65th running back off the board. One of the final round picks on Underdog drafts. Really tough for a redraft to start him. If he does get the opportunity, if Derrick Henry goes down, sharing the workload. You got Rasheen Ali. You got Justice Hill there. They're going to move things around with this backfield. But the thing about Keem Mitchell, this team likes him. He's got 4.37 speed. He's got an extra gear. He's one of those few running backs that has that Will Fuller in him where he can give you nothing in a bunch of weeks, and that one touch just go off. He's great for best ball. He's going to be great for DFS if Derrick Henry goes down. He's going to be hard, rough to start and work with in redraft setting lineups, dynasty setting lineups. That's the notion to think of. If I got Derrick Henry and I'm looking for a backup, Justice Hill will get more work. He's more reliable. He'll be more reliable week to week. If you're looking for that home run threat that could just sneak away touches and it has a lot of upside, that if it becomes more consistent, could take over, and you understand that that lottery ticket is a lottery ticket, and lottery tickets usually just end up sitting in the dirt. Keem Mitchell, 75th running back off the board. And I did not know this, but there's barely any pictures of Ollie Gordon in a Dolphins uniform. I had to go off my videos and snap that. 252 overall. Not really getting drafted much. But you're looking at the Dolphins backfield. Outside HN, you kind of want one of those other running backs just to see what happens. Alexander Mattison is a steady vet. Steady vet. This team can move the football. They want to use the run game. They've been adding running backs left and right. That's something to look at. Ollie Gordon's got a good profile. I know he went a little bit late in the draft in the 6th round, but this is a deep running back class. One of the deepest we've ever seen at the top and at the bottom. You need to pay attention to that. And he could end up like the 1B back in this backfield over time. And he could be a guy you're picking up off waivers. That's the thing about this. Like, you're watching this backfield. You're watching it at training camp. I'd watch it like a hawk because this team has proven to get some gusto out of their running backs. You got HN, the young guys, Alexander Mattison. Alexander Mattison, I'm watching him in training camp. See what's happening with his role because that could be a sneaky asset on the Dolphins. And the Dolphins can sometimes get you 2 running backs that are usable in fantasy. Usable as in like the second running back is enough to get you by in your flex. That's getting you like 13 points off and on, 12 points off and on, something like that. You got good size to him. He can be a pounder. Another one of those lottery ticket dart throws. Ty Johnson, 76th running back off the board. Once you're in the 80s of Underdog ADP, most of the running backs aren't signed to a team. So we're going down the board in the 70s, 76 off the board among running backs, 263 overall. So the thing about Ty Johnson is once Cook comes down, we are projecting Ray Davis to be the guy. Ty Johnson has a good athletic profile. Looked good at Maryland. In moments last year, he looked good. Could be a guy as a what-the-heck flex or a guy that you throw in your lineup and close your eyes and pray type of dude because he'll get work in the passing game, and he's very explosive. And they like him a lot. He's very effective, and he's got that speed to burn. Ray Davis is a guy that can hold it down as the main dude in almost any backfield in the league. He's got good vision, good between the tackles. Ty Johnson, though, you just need to give him like a okay sample of touches, and he can turn it on any given Sunday. But we're only looking at that if something happens to James Cook, and he's a guy that you're going to be watching the waiver wire for. I will have you need videos on that, but I'm pretty much going to say, hey, Ray Davis, and then Ty Johnson as the lottery ticket. Zack Moss. Honestly, we're watching training camp if he makes it through. Taj Brooks is there. They drafted him. They added Samaje Perine. Zack Moss, very similar. Zack Moss had a gruesome injury last year. We're just seeing what's going to go on with that. We're just going to be patient. But if everything's looking good, checking out, and he somehow is the RB2 on this roster after training camp, then you want to go off of this is a very efficient runner who's not sexy, who's not top tier, but can string some games. A guy that you might be looking at off the waiver wire. I mean, the odds of that is not very good. Samaje Perine, similar light, but imagine we'll get to him. Taj Brooks is one of my lottery ticket dart throws that I'll be looking for off the waiver wire. But Zack Moss isn't drafted in Underdog drafts right now. So honestly, what we're doing here, and the take is appropriately, is to watch through training camp. We're going to see if he gets through that. But those are the running backs we're talking about today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.